Gentlemen, you were speaking at the session here at the GESDA summit on advancing science for ocean stewardship. Anders, what was your key message?
Well, my key message is to organize large-scale protection of the oceans, whether it's regional or really on a global scale. We need to build trust. We need to build trust between the scientists who are working together to provide the best possible scientific basis for this protection, and we need to create trust between the governments who have to implement this on a larger scale. And this is where this marriage between science and diplomacy and high-level governmental dialogue is absolutely critically necessary, and this is, of course, exactly the philosophy behind GESDA.
Vladimir, what was your key message?
Thank you, Claire. I think GESDA is just coming to the ocean. I would also say that the humankind is rediscovering the ocean and how dependent the humankind is on the ocean, but is also important vice versa. And the message is that you can only care about something or someone that you know. And because of that, science is the way towards understanding the ocean, the complexity, and to build human relation with the ocean that will be much more harmonic than now.
Isn't the problem with the ocean that it's SDG 14, it's below water, and the problem is we don't know what's going on there? So does it make it even more difficult for policymakers because it's not so visible?
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind, definitely. And I would like also to say that it's not only about SDG 14. We are now in the process of the Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. So it's not only about the ocean, but it's about ocean and the world. Ocean science and the world. And indeed, ocean needs to be mainstream in the policy, in the decision-making, in the climate, in the food, in money, and in people's well-being. It's possible. But this requires, again, science, coming to the same topic.
Anders, you talked about trust. So where would you say were the key areas that GESDA needs to prioritize? It's got a massive agenda ahead of it. Where would you like to see GESDA prioritizing in terms of ocean protection?
Well, I think one of the key elements in building trust is through the open sharing of data. And by the way, the UN has always played a big role in this effort, but this can certainly be improved. The reality is that there is a lot of work going on at different scales, on the national scales, on regional scale, and even on a more bigger global scale. But very often there are real barriers between the nations, which prevent data sharing and therefore an open dialogue. This creates mistrust, and this is exactly working against the objective. So I think a very important key element of this is what we today call, with one term, we call open science. This is a very important thing. The access to data, the equal basis for the discussion, that everybody has the same access, is a key element. And how we do this, by the way, will involve probably new technologies, new types of handling data, etc. And of course, here GESDA can help anticipating these needs.
Vladimir, if there was one thing that GESDA was to achieve, what would you like it to be?
It's a very difficult question, to be honest with you, because I think GESDA may increase the message of science, and science can increase the efficiency of diplomacy. So if there is a possibility to really merge this together and create a new level of understanding and the work in the ocean that will be spilling out to stewardship, to diplomacy, that would be the way forward. And GESDA has a fantastic pedigree in other areas, but ocean is new. So if GESDA can find a way of using the ocean and the ethical value associated with the ocean, the beauty, then also building on the science, and the science is also new. We are developing now new science. This is not only about measuring, about kind of modeling, putting instruments or radars in water. This is a science of empathy, of equity, of social values. So GESDA is strong in this. So maybe this can be amplified through the lens and the strengths of GESDA.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.